Hello again. These are other documentation relating to HireRight Solutions. Now, this is the original background check I received on January 29th, 2008, when they were still under the title USIS Commercial Services. And at the time, I was looking for a job because I had just been released from a job working through a deco, and the job was Wix, one of those entry-level jobs. I was working on a assembly line there. And at that time, I won my unemployment benefits because they did. I actually challenged them. Well, if I said this, well, if I get an accuser, I want a hearing done at the Employment Security Commission, because at first they're going to try to deny me my benefits. But the one thing I've learned, especially in America, when you stand up for yourself, people don't really like it. They always encourage you to do those things, but when you really do it, they really don't like it. But I did at that time. I did with my unemployment benefits, and I received benefits until 2010, because you notice at the time they kept extending benefits for those who couldn't find jobs, because at the time the so-called downturn was occurring, and people were losing jobs, and jobs being lost, and all this stuff that's going on right now. So this is the original document that I received from USIS, and it's the background check that at the time that action personnel took and requested. Now let's take a look at the original documentation that USIS Commercial Services sent me when they done after they done the background check. Now I received this documentation on January 29th, 2008, and this is the original address of USIS Commercial Services and where it came from. This is the address I was living at the time that I received it, 307 North Morris Street, Gastonia, North Carolina. And this is the job I applied to Action Personnel, 654 Presley Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. And there's some information that you can actually see here. This notice is being sent to you, Section 613 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This information was obtained for the company listed above by USIS Commercial Services, and this information they give you. At the time, it was USIS. And the reason why you have so many people upset, and it brought this lawsuit against what they are now called HireRight Solutions, but at the time they were called USIS Commercial Services. And plus, there was a lot of other different names, like Investigation Services or Explorer Services, titled HireRight Solutions. And I'm going to show you some information that an employer sees when you have a criminal background check. And this is what they actually view when they run up the check. And here we go. Match was made using last name, first name, birth date, name Easterj Jr. Willie, date of birth 10/27/1963, gender male, race black, criminal record information. Source North Carolina Department of Corrections, birth state South Carolina, birth country United States, citizenship born USA, race, that's what it remained ethnicity, African, eye color brown, I mean all the usual information, physical build, thin, weight 154, which I'm still right around that same weight, even though now I'm 48. Still feel good though. Offense code 1418, offense involuntary manslaughter. Now, offense date was January 18, 1995. Principal, that's the offense prefix principal, and offense type felony. Court case number, that's what it is right there. And disposition date, July 14th, 1995. Verdict finding guilty, conviction, county, Mecklenburg. Sentence maximum 1 year, 4 months. Sentence beginning the 7th month, the 4th day, 1995. Probation start date, same date, 7/14/1995. It says sentence comments, sent type, probation. I received probation. I didn't do it in prison time. Now, as you can read down here, it says order and request and date. File was on 9/7, well, on 9/8/2007. When I looked at that number, I said, why has it been filed on this date? At this particular time, I already had a job. I was working then. And I sort of wondered, were they trying to make up for application that I put in, and they were trying to cover their backside at the time? And I still hadn't figured that out. But as you can see, it says file date is September the 8th, 2007. But I was working then. And we go to the next page. You see here, it says Clover, South Carolina. Driver's license number. At the time, that's what it was when I lived in South Carolina. And it says here, traffic violation. And it was a misdemeanor. Case year was 2006. And Fifth County, Gaston, original plea was guilty. Verdict finding guilty. And it says here I was fined, it says sentence comments, found amount $200. But I actually paid $310. Here's the bill of course. 11-3, Willis Jr. That's the state versus that's the number. And you probably can go ahead and find that same number. Case number. I don't see it doesn't say the exact thing, but it was in 2006. So we'll continue on. But here it is. It says fine was $200, and this is CRDC, and it was $110 added to that, which brought you to the total of $310. That's what I actually had to pay, and it was due by 12/29/2006. And you see right here, the seatbelt violation was scratched out, $75, because it was due to driving on suspended license because I moved out of South Carolina, and like I said, got no excuse for it. But at that time, I was still trying to get back on my feet because I moved out of South Carolina, didn't have no job, looking for a job, got a job. But by the time I got a job, South Carolina had already filed that I was driving without license, and that's when I got pulled over, and it was a traffic violation. So here it says offense, no operator's license, date of offense 8/26/2006. I'd only been working for a couple of months at that time. And it's an offense type, traffic misdemeanor, offense class 2. And as you can see it when it says no operating license, because South Carolina already suspended my license. Go to the next page. Now this is what, like I said before, this is what the employer actually sees when they run a background check on you, and you get these companies like HireRight Solutions, and they be selling that information to prospective employers. And this one is involuntary manslaughter, offense year January 18th, 1995, offense type felony, and you can see Original plea guilty. Defense County, Mecklenburg. Verdict finding guilty. And here I had to pay restitution, but that restitution never got totally paid out because once you get convicted, if you plead guilty with felony, you never get hired. And I found jobs sporadically, and the amount was $4,760. If you notice, I got my social security number marked out. I'm not giving that out on the internet. Not gonna happen. And the one thing I kept noticing in this document is like in the case where with HireRight, a lot of people complain about those duplicating the information over again and again. And if you notice, it says USIS Commercial Services 2020 Insight Criminal Record Database History Record. And it says the same information again. When it comes on down, that's when it type of search, criminal search, sex offender search area nationwide. It's like someone was constantly looking to see that I was a registered sex offender or not. And it was constantly looking for that. And I noticed they had on her several different times. And at the time this search was being conducted, I was living at 139 Quinn Road. The source was North Carolina Administrative Courts. Offender's address, I was living in Clovis, South Carolina at the time. And I noticed this search went on a couple of times. See, it is my name. And they was searching criminal search, sex offender search. And let's continue on. On the next page, here's that same information again. Different page. Same information. Here's in the middle of the page, as you can see. And on the next page, it's at the top. It's like someone was constantly trying to search to see what was our sex offender. See, same information again. It says 2020 Insight Record Database History Record Type of search, criminal search, sex offender search area nationwide, and it's used the same information again. Match was made using last name, first name, date, birth date, and this also information again. And this is what they found right here. It says source, North Carolina. At the time I was living in Clovis, South Carolina. 103 Careway Lane. Driver's license number. That's when I lived in South Carolina. And it says offense code 14177. Offense solicited for crime of nature. And it's a misdemeanor. Now you notice this is a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. And it says solicit. No actual crime was committed. It's solicit, meaning that you are seeking to solicit crime against nature, but you didn't actually commit a crime. And it was a police officer, a female police officer, a decoy, pretending to be someone that she wasn't. A lot of people consider that entrapment. But when you solicit, they can still charge you with solicitation. That's what it is, solicit for crime against nature, even though no actual crime was committed. And it's a misdemeanor. And you don't go on any type of sex offenders list. Because if I was required to go on a sex offenders list, I would have to be a registered sex offender. And the sheriff will tell you that you get the list as a sex offender. My definition of being a sex offender is a rapist, a child molester, or someone who has sex with someone underage, or these guys who walk around in these stores or places and try and grope women's nasty behinds. Now, I can only speak for myself. When you get a certain age, you grow out of that attitude of trying to pinch a woman in her butt. Because when you get older and you get a little bit of wisdom, you understand what's back there. I mean, who want to be walking around trying to grab some strange woman's behind? She probably used the bathroom, didn't wipe herself correctly, and you trying to grab some old doo-doo butt. I mean, think about that when anytime you're trying to grab someone's butt. Did the woman actually clean herself correct, or you just so perverted that you want to try to grab it? Moving on. But like I said, my definition is a sex offender is someone who rapes, a pedophile, who has sex with someone underage or forces himself on some individual. Not a person that's being convicted of soliciting, because no actual crime is committed. It's the crime that you've been charged with is solicit. See right there? It didn't say sex crime. It said solicit crime against nature. Understand that. Offense, solicit. It doesn't say anything about sex. It said solicit. No sex act took place. Solicit. Get that meaning. Get it. Solicit. Okay. Make sure we go to the next one right up front. Now this is what we're going to do again. Different page. As you can see, non-operating license, traffic misdemeanor. Now all this is on one search. And all you see, you're getting the same information again and again, even though it's only 3 offenses that's listed, but you see the same information again and again. And here we are. Again, this is the 3rd page, and it's like they ran the same check again. USIS Commercial Services, Insight, and criminal search, sex offender search. Again, search area nationwide. 2020 Insight, criminal record database, file information. As you can see, it was just a search. They were searching for something. And in this particular charge here, as you go back and you take a real close look, it says offense date 9/21/2006, offense type traffic misdemeanor. And if you go on down, it says case category, case year 2006, disposition date January 3rd, 2007, and it says dismissal without leave by DA. Offense county, Gaston County. Case type CR. So you see, this part of the traffic was dismissed. And in this particular case, they'll put it favorable towards me, but the DA pulled me aside and he asked me, he said, why is South Carolina trying to be so harsh in a first-time offense? And he said, I checked your record and you've never had your license suspended, or you never had a license of insurance since you've been driving. And he said, I think someone may have a grudge against you. Those were his words. And as you can see, dismissal without leave by DA. That's this disposition date, January 3rd, 2011. 2007. Excuse me on that, 2007. And I got my license back. Let me show you that right now. Voila. Not a very good picture though, because at the time I probably was half asleep because early in the morning. But I got my license back. Well, this is actually the second license because I damaged when I actually got it back on in August of 2008. But I got these on 11/6/2008. And when I went to get the license done, I was half asleep. You can see how I look, sleep. But that is a North Carolina driver's license. So you see, I got my license back in 2008. But it was suspended for 1 year. But I wanted you to see this so you could understand why so many people was upset at HireRight Solutions for submitting this type of information and stuff like this. And a person that doesn't understand what this means would probably think that you're on a sexual register list, and I'm not, because soliciting crime against nature is a misdemeanor, and you're not required to register as a sex offender because it's not a sexual offense. You're being arrested for solicitation. not an actual sex act. It's not a rapist. It's not a child molester. It's not someone having sex with an underage person, which is considered statutory rape. It's none of that. But a person that's ignorant to the law and how the law is set up and the terminology that the law uses won't know that. And some of these women and men who work in some of these offices don't know that. They're ignorant to it. And you won't get hired. I understand because it's in clear English. Type of search. It's just a search. Criminal search, sexual offender search. That's what it is. Sex offender search. But they didn't find a sexual offender search because I'm not listed in a sexual offender registry. They probably will want me there though. It's not going to happen. Because if you get that desperate, get you a call girl or a prostitute or find you a woman who enjoys sex as much as you do. And the one thing I can tell you right up front is that there's only a certain type of woman I date. Women who real women, okay? You might get offended by this this image that's on my computer, but these are the type of women I date. These are the type of friend ladies I have. They are women, not underage. They don't get offended. If that offends you, then don't look. You're not gonna find me dating some Kentucky Fried Chicken eating overweight woman who don't want to take care of herself physically, because me, I take care of myself. Keep the weight off, keep myself healthy,